Hello everybody, hope everybody is well. I'm up here camping at the Cispus River again. Trying to hit this once a month, kind of give you a perspective on how the landscape changes through the seasons. This one's a little different. There's a fire ban out here, so we cannot have fires. But I did bring a little barbecue, my good propane burner, so we can actually cook up some really good stuff. Was just going to use my little stove, but heck, I packed out a whole lot of bacon, a rack of ribs, and everything else. Got my hammock hung up over here. Does look like it's hanging wrong. That's because I got a sword hanging from it. But I'm probably not going to do a tarp. Got a lantern hanging from the tree over here. Since we can't have a fire, we're going to want some kind of real light. Basically got lots of food. I actually brought my freezer, which it runs on propane. It's a nice little unit. It'll actually run on propane. Yeah, I brought pizza too. It'll plug into your cigarette lighter, plug into the wall. Since I didn't have to bring a load of firewood, I brought Bjorn with me. He's not sure he's happy. He doesn't like the leash. But last time he ran off on me, so he's got the leash. Oh, and I did pick me up one of these little camping chairs. Been testing it out. So far, not bad. A little low to the ground for this old guy, but not bad. River's down quite a bit. Skies are actually way nicer up here than down where I live. Down where I live, the smoke is so thick you can't even see the hills this far away. A little shaky. Got too far in there. But yeah, I'm gonna be here. It's Thursday now. I'll be here through Tuesday. And I'm alone at the moment, but I got a friend coming up to join me tomorrow. It should be a great weekend. It's supposed to be in the mid 80s at the highs and the 50s in the lows. So I actually brought my 50-degree sleeping bag, and I got a wool blanket in the truck if it actually drops below that, but I doubt it. And right now it's, I think, a 95 degrees if I walk out into the sun. A little bit of breeze, not too bad. Wish there was a whole lot more for sure. The trees are starting to lose their leaves. We can actually see them hitting the ground and falling. The maple here is going to seed. All the seeds are about to start dropping off like crazy, so that might be a good reason to put the tarp up. But overall, I'm happy to be out here. The nearest fire is over 7 miles away going the other direction, so I don't have to worry about that at this point. And hopefully we don't have any more fires up here, at least with the burn ban in effect. You can't have anything but gas fires, so that's why I brought gas propane and make do. Shall be fun. It's too hot right now, or I'd take you out for a walk and show you a little more on the river, but it is way hot out there. Even the dog didn't want to go out there. Just can't blame him. He's got a long coat. And he's really kind of scared of the water too, so hopefully tomorrow we can get him in the water to go swimming. That would be nice. Site was actually pretty clean when we got here. That was kind of a nice bonus. Not have to spend, the first part of being here picking up trash the whole time. Been quiet. We haven't even seen much for birds or anything else. I think the smoke's kind of put everybody off as far as that stuff goes. Seen a couple people pull in. We're quite disappointed I was here already, which makes me glad I came up today instead of tomorrow. Yep, it is nice out here. Gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna go sit down, have a beer, and relax, and I'll get back to you. I'm back. It's just a little bit later. Figured I'd show you my sword. When I'm alone, I always like to carry, I usually carry my katana, but I forgot to bring it. It actually hang from the ridgeline, which is even better. But on the hammock here, I've got my Cascade Mountain Tech pillow and sleeping pad. My 50-degree sleeping bag, which I'm telling you what, man, this thing's so thin, doesn't even feel like you got anything around you when you're in it. But overall, I'm gonna sleep really good tonight. It should not be an issue. I do put up a ridge line just so I can hang a little bag. I've got a light in it that hooks on my ridge line, but I keep it in the bag because it likes to just blow off of there at times. Yeah, so far I've been really impressed with this Gold Armor hammock. I have a couple Gold Armor products. They're local American products. I think they do a quality job. I've had no issues with any of the equipment. The tied ends seem to be just fine, solid. All the nylon looks really good. These are 500-pound carabiners, which is kind of impressive to me. I don't know if they make the straps or not. They came with the hammock. I'd imagine they do because they have their name on them. And these straps are pretty impressive. Very little stretch. Quite impressed with that. I actually have a dog bed set up underneath, so Bjorn's got a place to sleep tonight. So he can just sleep underneath me. Probably won't. He'll probably hide down over somewhere and just find his own spot. But I expect to have a pretty good view. This is my sleeping view. Canopy is pretty thick. Very luckily, I mean, I keep having to switch from where I'm sitting constantly. That little chair has been nice because it's light, a lot easier to move than the Stargazers. But the Stargazers are way more comfortable, easier to get out of. That's the only downside to that little chair. So far it's been pretty sturdy, it's held up. But I don't know, about 10 inches off the ground. And it sits you back, which is makes it a little hard to get out of. You actually got to shift your body up, position up forward a little bit. It is nice that it has the webbing. My back wasn't near as sweaty sitting in it for sure. We're actually starting to get a little shade down here in the river, but I couldn't get the dog near it. I was gonna say let's go for a swim, and he didn't want to. It's actually pretty deep right there. Really just relaxing. I'm out here by myself today, and I got here at noon. It's 3:30 or so right now. I'm definitely going to enjoy it. Maybe even add to a little bit of carving I did one of the times I was out here. Thinking about doing a compass or a sundial or something on the rock. But it's too hot for work right now. Well, unless I wanted to work in the river. And it's pretty milky. One of the other rivers we crossed coming here was really milky. I was quite surprised because it's usually a crystal blue. Yep, gonna have that great white noise for sleeping tonight. Well, sleeping for the next few nights. Still kind of shocked. I haven't heard or seen any birds. No ducks flying up the river. I haven't even seen a crow in the area, which is very unusual. They usually keep pretty good tabs on all the campsites. Every once in a while, a dog snaps his head up into the woods, but I look, I'm not seeing the movement he's seeing, obviously. He's hot. Keeps moving from spot to spot in the shade. Hump yarn. You go, boy? Oh yes, flies. Gotta get those sky raisins, right? You get him? They're just playing with you, buddy. Should have brought your sister. She'd get them. Yeah, he really hates the leash, but I guess you learn your lessons one way or another. My other dog Ruby, his sister, I can bring her out here and I never have to tie her up. She won't leave camp unless you do. And the only reason she'll leave is if there's no food handy. She won't eat her dog food when we're camping. She's well trained. I always cook too much. Yeah, most of the bushes are still green in here. Some of the old flowers are starting to turn brown and end their season. Some of the leaves are starting to turn brown and end their season. It's just getting that time of year. I figure next month when I come up here, there should be some spectacular colors, especially on the other side of the river. Haven't seen any sign of elk in the area, which is kind of shocking. Usually when I walk the road, I usually walk the road when I first get here, and I haven't seen a single elk track going in or out. So they must have a better spot for this time of year. Hopefully somewhere with a lot of green grass, I'd hope, but it's so hot, it's hard to say. I know I'm sweating good. I sweat just like this at home. It's probably even hotter down at home. The smoke down there is so thick, the sky's just red. You can barely even tell the sun's out at some points, which is kind of a bummer. But, you know, usually this time of year we got a lot of fires here in Washington, Oregon, California. The other day the winds shifted from the west to coming from the east and brought all the smoke from the eastern side of the mountains, which there's some good fires here in Washington over there. We had actually a couple local fires. The fire department did a good job, had a couple planes come in, only had about a 300-acre burn. Far enough away I didn't really have to panic, which was nice. I mean, very, very nice. They did have one about 3 blocks from my house, but it was right next to the road. Probably somebody tossing a cigarette butt out the window. You know, sometimes I just don't understand people. But they took care of that one real quick. I already had the scanner running because of the big fire going. It burned 300 acres. If you've ever seen my film on the Mima Mounds natural area, that whole area burned. So I figured once they open back up, I'll go back up there and do another video showing the difference in the damage that was done, because from the aerial shots I've seen, it's severe. Which is too bad, but fire is a natural process. That fire there was started by an exploding transformer during a windstorm. Not really a natural fire, but those things happen when you live around those types of things. Up here, it's only lightning and people messing up that start fires. And then one, like I said, there's one over, long ways over that way, about 6-7 miles. I think it's 6 miles past the hill that's over that way. And it's a small fire, it doesn't seem to be gaining much strength. It must not be where the wind's really blowing. But I hope everybody stays safe and thinks about that kind of thing this time of year when they're outside. Like I said, I can't have a fire here because they closed the whole forest down to no campfires, which I don't mind. It really doesn't bother me, even though where the fire pit is here, there is really nothing but dirt around it. But to be safe, I definitely won't have a fire. I will have a barbecue going. I'll probably have my cooker going. I brought a lot of really good eats, so I can't wait to get started on that, but it is way too hot right now for cooking. And I also noticed when I haven't been down there yet, but I noticed somebody out here was shooting and stood up a tree over there with a bunch of cans on it. Which, of course, yeah, I'll clean up all the cans, get them gone. Probably a bunch scattered around the ground over there. They were shooting a .22, shooting it from basically right behind that chair because there's shells all over the place, which I'll pick the shells up too. I just ended up melting them back down and using them for other things. Oh, such a good day. Isn't it, buddy? It's a good day. Well, I'm going to sit down, drink another beer, relax. Really not a whole lot more to do right now because it's just too hot to go for a hike. Otherwise I'd already been gone. But later, when for the sun sets, I'll get back to you guys and we'll go for a walk on the beach, see how much lower the river really is. I know from this angle it looks like it's another 2 feet down. Some of the rocks that I've never seen before are actually poking out of the water. But I'll be back. I'm sitting here hiding in the shade of my truck actually, and I was like, well, I'm gonna keep the camera close just in case I see something. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking straight ahead, and I got that little table and the barbecue set up on there. Well, the trail coming into here that most of the animals use is right behind it, so I gotta move that bugger. It means I gotta get out of this little tiny chair and go move it. Much better view. Of course, I wasn't really worried about it. I was, didn't think I'd be hiding in the shade behind my truck. And the dog, he come over here, he just laid down and seemed to be quite comfortable. I was like, alright, grabbed a little chair, let's go have a seat over there. And, yep, it's probably another 5-10 degrees cooler in the shade here. Still hot. I have no idea what time it is, probably 4 or 5 o'clock, but it's still hot. That's a nice view. And when you go back in there a ways, let's see if I can give you a little more landscape size view here. Let's avoid that tree. See how far this bugger zoom in. A little shaky, but I'd say that's about 150 feet out that it's actually shooting. That's pretty impressive actually. And yeah, now if something actually comes walking down the trail, like the last time I was out here with my boys, we were just about folded up camp, just about done. The only thing left hanging was my hammock and tarp, and it only takes a minute to put those away. And we're sitting here, we're all talking, having tea, and all of a sudden a couple deer come walking up. I'd already put the camera away, put it in the truck. My kid just pulls out his phone and starts snapping photos. And I'm like, you better send me those. I need to use one of those for a thumbnail, And he got a good shot right across my hammock. 2 deer just sitting right there. That was pretty impressive, And they walked up the trail right there. They walked to the left a little bit through the bush to avoid us, and basically just crossed the road right here in front of the truck. Went to the other side, went about their merry way. It was kind of cool. It made me really wish I had the camera still up and running, though. I decided this time as I'm out here, I'm going to keep the camera handy. So if anything does happen, maybe I can get some footage of it. Hello. I'm cooled down enough. I think Bjorn and I are going to go for a walk out the road. He is going to sniff and pee on everything he can find. Guaranteed. Obviously been other dogs down this way. Come on, buddy. Looks like the berry bushes have been picked pretty clean here. Kind of hoping to find some. Come on, you don't have to sniff every inch. A little bit of garbage I just saw, I have to pick up on the way back. Yeah, as you can tell, the sun is pretty low in the sky here. It's a little after 6. Still hot, and my watch said 88 degrees still, so hopefully that starts changing soon. I'm starting to get hungry and hate to eat when I'm hot. Yeah, beautiful out here though. Very dry. Everything you step on's crunchy. Definitely fire hazard time. Which I'm kind of not, like I said, I'm not upset about them saying no more campfires. That increases the odds of not having a fire. Well, here's some Oregon grape that's ripe. Edible, just not the best tasting thing on the planet. A whole bunch of it in here is ripe. You just wait till they're that nice bright blue color. If you have to, you can eat them. I probably will before the weekend's out. Just to remind myself what they taste like. I know they don't taste bad. They're just not a really great flavor. And they got seeds, really good seeds in them. Oh, it's actually not bad here, rolling through the shade. Well, it looks like somebody's had to camp at this site a couple times. Looks a little different than last month when I was up here. A few sticks laying on the ground. Good pile of ash in the fire pit. Kind of a desperate site, but hey, if you have to find a spot, you find a spot. We're gonna detour and walk down here and see if everybody's been camping back here in the woods. Poor dog, sorry about him yanking me around kind of thing. He's got to sniff every little bush and pee on them. Well, it doesn't look like anybody's been camping back here. And for me, this would be a not so bad spot. There's a nice tent site right back over there. There's like a trail going that way. Really nice Douglas fir sitting here. Good thing about 4 or 5 feet across, easy. All right, boy, come on. Mainly I walk back here to see if anybody built a fire pit back in the woods. Usually when they do back here, the rangers come in and they just throw it away. They don't want them back there. They want them to stay up in these cleared areas, which are a lot safer. This guy's a tow truck. I'm bigger than you are still, buddy. You know you can yank me around without a problem. What you got? Oh, another bush you gotta pee on. Somebody must have been camping out here with dogs. He's gotta make sure he remarks every site. Oh, we're actually back. We can barely hear the river now. Lots of dead alder, which is good. Come when I can have fires again, it'll be nice to be able to harvest the wood. A lot of them, there's a nice little ditch down here. It's usually got water in it. It looks pretty dry right now, which is good. That means there's not as many mosquitoes. But yeah, a lot of these alders are dead, just dead standing. And you just go over and you push them down and take them back to camp. And the contrast is pretty severe. I mean, you got fir trees, cedar trees on this side, you know, and it's all alders for the most part over here until you get out a little ways, and there are some nice spots to dig in and just plain camp out there in the regular fir trees. They're all pretty young, but there's some nice spots. I'm sure before the weekend's over I'll be hiking out in that area too. Well, depending on how hot the days are. If I only get the mornings and evenings to hike around, so be it. But actually seeing birds finally. They've been pretty quiet, but actually seeing them fly around. They're probably hunkered down in the heat too. Yeah, looks like the birds have cleaned out all the blackberries, the caps. Not seeing any good stuff, except for the slough and Oregon grape, which I don't see any slough berries. Poor dog thinks we're going towards home. He doesn't understand we're 2 hours from home. But he did get excited when as soon as we hit the gravel here, or the trail, he knew we were going camping. He had his head out the window. Basically everywhere coming up from Randall. It was pretty impressive, which Randall's about 10 miles out. As soon as we hit that town, he turned, he was head out the window. We're going camping. Yeah, no berries, completely picked clean. Last time I was out here they weren't ripe yet. Everything's so crunchy and dry. Well, we do got some water down in there. Doesn't look like it's moving. It looks stagnant, so that means mosquitoes coming from that area. That's alright. I'm car camping. I brought lots of bug spray. Which the flies are the worst part right now. Little gnats and flies. They don't bite or anything, but they're constantly touching you. And when you're sweaty, yeah, that's irritating. Haven't heard too much traffic today. I think when them shutting down the campfires, a lot of people just said no. Which I don't understand. I mean, camping's camping. Fire doesn't make a camp trip. Certainly nice, but that doesn't make or break it. And as soon as we found out we were going to have to go by gas, it was like, oh, no big deal. Take the firewood back out of the truck and load up the propane. Whoop-de-doo. Still going camping. Yeah, quite a bit of swamp down in there. There's a beaver dam that holds all this in, but we haven't seen a beaver in many years at the end of it. And probably a good 10 years. They just abandoned it or died or whatnot. The only thing I really see out here anymore is the elk herds. Like I said, I haven't even seen a sign of them crossing the road. I see a couple trees out in the woods that are marked for cutting. So I wonder if they're going to come in and thin this out, or the road's right there. That clear sunny spot is the road. We're right next to it now. So I wonder if they're just dangerous trees or what. Yeah, kind of still sweating a little bit, even though I'm going slow, and having to fight the dog makes my arm sweat, but he'll stop if I tell him to. I just, you know, dogs are family. I hate the fact that I have to keep him on a leash. But last time I was up here, he ran off on me. And actually came clear out here to the road and was running down the road heading home when I found him. So, next couple tricks, he gets the leash. Alright, we're here at the road. We're gonna turn around and hike back. But I'll get back to you after a while. Well, this is what's for dinner tonight. No taco rice. And we mixed with that is buffalo style chicken from Starkist. If you haven't had this stuff and you like spicy food, it does say bold. This camera can pick it up. It is pretty good. It'll make me sweat even when I start to eat it. The dog will eat this. He won't eat his dog food, but he'll eat this. And I definitely won't eat the whole thing. But yeah, I'm going to cook it on my little stove. Use my little camp setup here for this, since it's a simple meal. I got a bunch of these old canisters I just need to start using all the fuel out of, kind of thing. So yeah, I won't make you watch me cook it or eat it. It's pretty simple. You boil the water. It says it cooks in 7 minutes, so I basically will just put everything in there, get my water boiling, and then let her simmer with the lid on for 7 minutes, and take the lid off, and then I'll wait till it thickens up, because I always use way too much water, which most people aren't too shocked about. It's a lot easier to use too much water than not enough and have a little bit of crunchy rice. It really sucks. But that's dinner here tonight. That and some snacks, pub mix. Good stuff there. Outside of that, yeah, I'll probably have a mug of beer, shot of whiskey, and heck, hopefully it's not bedtime by that point. We'll see. I'm hoping to do a little bit of videoing once the lantern's lit up and it's actually dark out here. Hopefully my camera can pick up some shots of the moon, which would be kind of nice when it crests the hill. But yep, that's dinner. Alright, here's dinner. A slightly runny rice mix, which is slowly thickening up. A couple of beers in my mug, and my little mini mug got a shot of whiskey in it. So this be dinner. I'll probably end up cooking another one because I didn't empty my propane on that, or butane, or isobutane that it is. But yep, that's food for tonight.